Welcome to Formula Drift Insider. I am your host, Ryan Sage. On this week's episode, we bring you an insider retrospective on the confrontation of the year between Daigo Saito and Justin Pollock at West Palm Beach. And we also get an exclusive interview with Jun Meng. But first, we revisit the confrontation between Justin Pollock and Daigo Saito as both drivers give their sides after the event, and we also talk to drivers in the series to get their take on this real first public person-to-person confrontation in FD history.
Well, I talked to both Daigo and Justin about the battle, and I totally understand both sides, you know? So it's really hard to say. Daigo say it was his mistake, you know? Of course, everybody make mistakes, but it was like wrong timing, and he ended up kind of like brake checking Justin, but he says he didn't do that on purpose, and I think he didn't. But as a Justin, you know, he's, you know, if I was Justin, I might gonna think the same way, you know. So it's really tough to say.
So I heard there was a ton of talk about the whole JTP Daigo run, and I didn't get to see it, but afterwards, there's tons of videos on the internet, and after I saw some on-car footage, actually, of Justin, I mean, he made a mistake. He was trying to push real hard with him, and knowing that Daigo's a good driver, he was definitely trying to get right up on him, and just made a critical mistake.
You know, personally, I've had conflicts with other drivers and with judges and everything, you know. In Justin's position, you know, he's expressing his passion for winning and being competitive. I've watched Daigo a couple of times this year, and he's never consistent, meaning to me that he's kind of playing some tricks. You know, each round is different, each competitor is different. I like clean, hard charging runs and go for the win. Not taking anything away from Daigo, you know. He's been the best in Japan, he's been the best in Asia. There's no reason why he shouldn't be doing as good as he is doing out here.
They're both very high up in points right now. Pollock's winning the championship, and he tempers are definitely very high. I mean, he wanted that podium, and he didn't get it, and that was probably the reason, was being brake checked by Daigo or whatever the case may be. So, you know, I mean, in the heat of the moment, it's just something that's going to happen. Is it warranted? I don't know. I mean, it depends on everybody's individual opinion.
You know, I ran it really hard the first run. I felt like I did everything that the judges asked. Consistent entry, nice and wide through the clipping zone, and just a clean run. And Daigo wasn't able to hang with me. He was, you know, a car and a half back, and I think he was a little, you know, like surprised that I was like the first car that he wasn't just on my door. Went to the second run, was expecting him to run, you know, a fast lead run. He's one of the fastest cars out there. He entered quite a bit slower and had a little hesitation and tap of the brakes, which really threw me off. I ended up spinning, and I approached him about it, and I didn't feel like he gave me a fair shake on his lead run, and I just told him that I'm not down with that. Basically, I was trying to get him to admit what he did. He didn't want to admit it. Maybe he meant to, maybe he didn't, but that's how it shook out, and I was going to stand up for what I believe in, and that's hard driving. Not any tactics, any strategy going into it, but running all out, and I think the majority of the drivers in Formula D do that, and that's what we all expect from each other. And I didn't feel like it happened, so I was going to stand up for myself, and I approached him, and at the end of it all, I don't feel like I did anything that was, you know, degrading to him or disrespectful to him. I ended up shaking his hand and walking away from the situation, and even at the end of the event, I went and congratulated him on his victory. I think it was good for him to win, you know, and I congratulated the other guys too.
When I was going against Justin, when I was in front, I know that it wasn't my best run, and I understand that I kind of went wider than I thought. That was because, you know, the judges were telling me that I had to take a wider line in the entry. You know, it went over where I was expecting it to be. But at the end, you know, Justin screwed up behind me, and that's, you know, they gave me the win, so I don't know, you know, that's... So, well, I'm from Japan, and stuff like that doesn't really happen back home, so I was a little surprised of him coming up to me, but, you know, I do, you know, admit that I did mess up, and, you know, I feel bad. I know that Justin's going for the championship and is very important, and I know how it feels to be in his shoes. So I really understand totally, he can come in front of me. So I'm just looking forward to the next time I can go against him again.
Jun Mang is one of the hardest working drifters in the sport. He's also known as one of the nicest. You may have heard recently that Jun and Bergenholtz Racing split ways. So we caught up with Jun to see what news he can give us about what's next.
I really enjoy driving the Mazda. I'm more of a turbo guy, especially turbo by Garrett, and the Mazda just has a unique character of itself. It provides that impact for the fans. They love the 3 rotary banging on the rev limiter and just the turbo boosting. Just it's a lot of fun, but yet it's a lot of work because it's a boosted car. You got to make sure it's always on its power band, which we improved a lot this year, thankfully, because of partnership with Turbo by Garrett. It almost felt like a V8, if not better. It is a great platform, but I believe maybe the Mazda platform was not meant for my type of driving. So I hope that Bergenholtz Racing finds a driver that is used to that type of a particular setup, so that driver could deliver for Bergenholtz Racing and their team, because I wish them the best. I mean, it might be a little rough in the beginning, but I think it'll work out for both of us. Well, since I was in junior high school, I was in a racing crew called S Empire. So the guys at S Empire, Lod, Art, Sam, Ruben, they're all helping me out to build this car. That's my new team at Roll Race Engineering. So we're building a S13 with a fully built motor from Westtech, LS2, all aluminum. So we're building a motor right now currently, and a secondary motor as well. So we want to get back, in the series strong for at least Vegas and Irwindale. I mean, even Vegas and Irwindale is really pushing it. We got about probably a month at the most to finish the car for Vegas. So we might have to rough it a little bit for the next two rounds that we'll be able to compete in. So our goal as a team for next season is, hey, let's work hard, let's build the car even stronger, get everything done for the 2013 season of Formula D. And yeah, we're just gathering everything up to make sure we have a program that works.
All right, well, that is our show for this week. For a look at what's next, we turn you over to professional hot chick, Vanessa Lansaw.
Thanks, Ryan. On the next episode of Insider, we give you a full breakdown of the most recent round of competition, Formula Drift Seattle at Evergreen Speedway. As always, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And if you'd like to reach us directly about anything on the show, throw us an email to insider@formulad.com. See you next time.